is hungry, that he sees an opportunity to share some real important information with a person he thought would be very influential in the city. So, this woman, Jesus sits at the well, and a woman comes there, and they begin a conversation, just like we are beginning a conversation this morning. And a woman of Samaria, that's verse 7. Maybe someone will read for us. Can we have another microphone for someone else to read? A woman of Samaria came to draw water. Jesus said to her, "Give me a drink." For his disciples had gone away into the city to buy food. Then the woman of Samaria said to him, "How is it that you, being a Jew, ask a drink from me, a Samaritan woman? For Jews have no dealing him will never thirst, but the water that I shall give him will become in him a fountain of water springing up into everlasting life." And then the woman was like, "Hey!" Jesus, we worked the whole night and you didn't get anything. So this woman here, she meets Jesus, and then Jesus kind of prompts her and says, "Give me some water." Now, what is the response of the woman? The first response is, "You are a Jew, I am a Samaritan, you shouldn't ask me for." So she responds in a very cultural manner. And today, one of the things that is really becoming a challenge for people is when we hear that God can make you prosperous, that God can give you riches, our response is usually cultural. But you see, I am in Uganda. You see, I am a woman. For us, we eat matoke. My name is, you give your traditional name. Instead of responding or giving your challenge to Jesus, because Jesus is telling her, "Hey, can you give me some water?" And Jesus knew, I think he knew, that this woman is held up in her culture and she can't find the breakthrough she needs. So most of us are held up in our cultures, and that's why we don't find the financial breakthroughs that we have. Our cultures expose us to certain trends and ways of life. I don't know whether you get me. Jetukulira eriengeri jeteko obwongo bwaffe, it puts our mind in a certain direction that we almost cannot escape from the direction where our cultures have tuned us. The first time we went to Sudan, we looked at the land and we thought, the land looks fertile. You guys, why don't you grow watermelons, onions, tomatoes? And you know what they told us? They said, this land here, we don't cultivate those things. And we asked why. They said, you know, our elders were taught by the Arabs that we cannot grow these things, and so they told us we cannot grow these things. And so the land was fertile. They could grow all kinds of foodstuffs, but their elders told them, you cannot grow these things here. And so they were struggling with poverty, not because God had not provided resources, but it was their mindset, their cultural customs. So today, even as we read this story, and we see that this woman wanted the living water, but she was bound. She was like, there is no relationship between me, a Samaritan, and the Jew. Therefore, you as a Jew, you cannot get anything from me, and I also don't expect to get anything from you. Please, that is sorted. That is how we live life. And today, when we talk about finances, there are people who have already sorted it in their hearts, in their minds, that when you are in Uganda, you don't make money. Uganda is a third world country, and my tribe, let's follow the Gideon trend, and my tribe, Wanji, is the smallest, and my family is the least. They have already crammed it. It's like they wake up in the morning to only listen to one station, broadcasting station. The 10 Spies broadcasting station. Do you know the 10 Spies broadcasting station? It is in the book of Exodus. I mean Numbers. The land is full of giants. For us, we are grasshoppers. We are nothing. And that's the only broadcast they listen to. They don't want to listen to the other two. Now, who is the majority? The 10 are more than the 2. But who is the winner? The 2. Did the 2 win? Yeah. Did the 10 lose? So some of us, we tend to side all the time. We side with our culture. We side with our traditions. And we don't want to side with the word of God, because everybody around us. Everybody around us. Now, I have been singing a song here. Nembagamanti, it is good. Let it be on record. It is good for you to find employment. What are the benefits of employment? You gain experience at under someone else. You gain mentorship under someone else. Your mistakes are paid for by when you are employed and you make a mistake. You're a teacher, and by some reason you miscalculate whatever the information, and you give either half information or old information. The information has been upgraded, you have not upgraded. They used to tell us when I was going to school, what causes malaria? For us, when we were going to school, it was an Anopheles mosquito. For us, that is what we were taught. Some people, they were told eating cold things in the morning causes malaria. Now you imagine you're a teacher and you're teaching. Now, I heard that at some point they said, no, it's not just Anopheles. It is a female Anopheles mosquito. And now you teach that. And the child comes and they have failed and say, why have they failed? It's not just a female. It is a impregnated female Anopheles mosquito. So you see the progression. Now, if you're a teacher and you are teaching things of my age, and your kids fail, they will say, the kids in that school failed, but they might not punish you for the mistake. So you are actually, someone else is paying for your mistakes. And as you learn, you are learning under someone. So they are taking care of the bills. They are giving you experience. But that's not the end of it. When we talk about financial freedom, a job is good, but it's not enough. For you to find financial freedom, you need to have a business. For you to find financial freedom, you need to have a business or to have investments. Two things. Nobody goes to work and becomes rich because we already have a book. If you have not read that book, I recommend that book to you. Straightforward Financial Growth, written by Apostle Mukisa Moses. We have those copies. Read that book and you are going to find wisdom. Now, me, when I talk to you here and I give you this information, you behave like the Samaritan woman. Pastor, Pastor Saga. Now, employment and what we call self-employment, they are almost not, there is no difference. Employment, you have one boss. What you call self-employment, you have many bosses, but the thing is the same. You are even more you are likely to make more risks and more mistakes than when you are under another person's guidance and instruction. So this woman here, she wanted what Jesus had, but she was limited to access it because of her traditions, background, upbringing. Now, many people here, if I ask how many of you want to have financial freedom, how many of you want to have wealth, riches and wealth? Let me ask it in Luganda. Raise your hand. I only see one young lady's hand which is down. I don't know whether she understands the language or not. Language barrier. Now there are many barriers. There are traditional barriers, cultural barriers, but also language, which is part of a cultural barrier. Anyway, so put your hands down. For all of us, if they ask us, do you want to become rich? We say yes. We even wake up and try to work hard to become rich. But why don't we become rich? It is because the system we are using to become rich will never make us rich, but they have told us that's what we should believe, and we all believe what they told us. We all believe what they told us. Now, one man gave an example and said, if two children are born of the same father and mother, and they are twins, and they look alike, and one of them is kept in the village. Let's say the parents of the children were villagers. Which village? Now, don't say Kiriwa. Kiriwa is a city. Oyam. Oyam is a district, my friend. Is it a village? Otwar in Oyam. No electricity. They walk distances to fetch water, firewood, everything. And that child, the twin, is raised there. And all the conversations they hear when they sit down to eat food is banange. Ate kundi fees ba mugobye fees. Ne gundi yalwadde tetulina sente za kumujjanjaba. Musibeeko ekiwere kinyogoga maybe ajja kuwona. Sina sente za panado. Tetulina sabuni. mugende mukozesa ebikoola byaki mapaapaali, and they are grown and they are exposed to lack. Meanwhile, the other twin was taken to where? To a city somewhere. And in that city, the parents who brought up this kid were financially free. They didn't have any problem discussing money. I mean, wanting money. When they sat down, they would talk about big businesses. We have just cleared the containers. The business is booming. Did so and so clear the other checks? So the kid is hearing checks, containers cleared, businesses, bank accounts, receipts, records for financial. This kid is, their mindset about money is totally different. Their concept of money, because the parents are financially free, they sit at home and they see people are instructing here, there, and the kid grows. Now, at the age of 20, bring those two kids together again. Take them to a totally new town. Both of them, they are twins. Give them 20 million and tell them, start life. What is going to happen? The poor one will survive, and the rich one? The one with the rich mentality will start totally different things because their mindset is totally different. They grew up knowing that their parents had businesses, they were employing people, and the first thing they will do is whatever they will start, their mindset is already tuned. That's what they see. Monkey see, monkey do. I have been here now. I have a real life example. These people are not in the house. I don't know why they are not in the house. I don't see them. But I have a very live example that I can use here. I've been talking to one of us, and I say, you have this skill. You can use it to create a very powerful business. That's like, Pastor, I don't know. And then one of those days, he came and told me, Pastor, someone gave me a very brilliant idea. And I said, share it. What is this brilliant idea? You know, they told me, if I find space somewhere, now, in the village, if I find space on someone's veranda, and I put this thing and I start, I am going to make life. I looked at him and I'm like, are you okay? I am talking to you about establishing a business. You are talking to me, you are going to find a space on someone's veranda and you start employing yourself by, don't you think I'm going to be, I told him, you are going to become miserable. Now, he went back and he came back and said, you know, I have this idea. It sounded good for me. The idea, the way we were building it sounded good. I hope he keeps it like that. Now I found a job. I want to take this job, and I'm like, do you have a list of anybody who took such jobs who became rich? But, you know, I have needs. I say, yeah, we all have needs. Even Museveni, he is the president of this country, but he still has needs. Needs should never be the driving factor for you to get, okay, they can get you, you need to be responsible. But we get employment for fulfillment of our vision. If it is employment for necessity, should still serve towards fulfilling your calling and passion in life. Today there are many people, even some of you listening to me here, muli banji nga mukola emirimu temujagala naye lwakubanga nakola ntya. Bw'ozuuka ku makya oganze guno omulimu gwenkola sigwagala naye okusobola okunoonya ekyokulya wakiri kankole ki kankikole nfune ekyokulya naye lwaki okolera kunoonya kyakulya kolerera okusobola okuteeka ssente mu kino ekigenda okufuuka oba kyoyagala ekiri mu kuyitibwakwo. Okola omulimu si kibi. Working employment is not bad, but we should get money from there in order to facilitate the things that God has called us to do, our callings, our purpose for life, and then we inject money in those things and we go on. Me, I am telling you, I started many businesses, but they were not lining up with what God had called me to do. Na ina business ya tax na nina tax satu nerolemu, and they used to call me Muzei. I was even younger than I am now. Ampita mugago muto Muzei. Now I got more problems because it was pulling me away from things that God had. So we need to make money. Now, how do we make money? Number one, we need to first of all defy the cultural mentalities about wealth and prosperity. This woman we are reading about, Jesus is telling her, you can find peace and satisfaction in life. She's like, no. For us, this well. For us, our traditions. For us, so many people today, when you tell them the Christian principles of making wealth, their response is, Pastor, me, I found a job in the market. Because that's what they see all around. They don't want to break through to go with what the Bible teaches. Do you know what the Bible teaches? The Bible teaches that we all can become rich and wealthy, and we can make a lot of money, not by toiling. Okay, we need to use our minds, but we need to be able to think in terms of business, not employment. Employment is the beginning step. Kiringanga omwana ayiga okutambula. Toyinza agamba nti omwana yayize okwavula mumuleke ayavule. After all, n'abaana abalala bonna baavula, omwana kaakole ki? And then you are 40 years by your yavula bwavuze. And meanwhile, all the limbs are okay, the muscles are okay, but you never made it to walk. Or you walk and you never run. So many of our cultural beliefs, what we see around, tells us, gendo nonyeya akalimu, okole gundi. You look, Joseph. What was Joseph's dream? He had a dream until ngenda kubeera leader. How did Joseph approach work? Because Joseph was employed. But how did he approach work? These are the same principles I was talking to you sometime back. Joseph approached work with the principle of second mile. Second mile. It was not in his culture. Nay, for him, because he was a believer of God, he believed in Timebampo omulimu gwonna. Simalaga kukola kutuukiriza. Some people, it is barely, atuuka ku time avao, even in church. You know why we don't see blessings in church? It's because people come to church for church atandika sawa nyanja kubeera sawa ja no second mile egwa sawa mukaaga kitundu mukaaga tano ne dakika tano gundi asatu mu 29. I need to begin going. no idea of second mile. That's why we don't perfect what we do. No idea of second mile. Kati culture yaffe tuyigiriza nti when you get employment olongo ogenda kuyitamu. The Bible talks about people starting businesses. And what is a business? A business is a system that provides either service or product, and gives you profit. You provide a service or a product at a profit. Nekati abantu baffe neboyogera naye I have had my heart is a little bit aching. The other day they told me we had some boys here, they left here. And some of you I'm talking to you. Neera temuwulira. Mwe muganze we naba nfunye omulimu nenkola omulimu n'ogukola ne bw'oligumalako emyaka emeka, unless waliwo other people supporting your sustainability. If you don't have a business running on the side. Now, the elders are here. You go and talk to them. You go and ask them questions. Say, we hear you have a car, you have a house, your children are paid for in school, you are employed. How do you do it? You are going to find out that they will tell you the money we work for is not enough. And yet they will tell you they are paying us modestly. But the money is not enough. So where do you get the other enough money? They will tell you this business on this side here and this favor of God on this side here are the ones that have bridged the gap. We can't say that it is our jobs that have sustained us. So my plea to you is that as church members, you know that if you are going to become wealthy, you need, number one, go and get a job. But number two, save money to either invest in something that will make money or to invest in starting a business that will work. Now, a business is a system, and the only money that makes you rich is the money which you don't earn directly. Why? Because there is a seventh day. I don't even know if the jargon I'm using, you understand. What is the seventh day? There is going to be a day when you will not be able to work. Either there was a whole 2 years where they said there is COVID. And people were told don't go to work. People who did have anything else to fall on, ali muzigo taina wa ali agundi, they either had to run to the village or something. There is a day when you are going to be sick. There is a day when you are going to give birth and you need to be at home for a few months. Ngatokola. There is a day you are going to become old. Zavi. Oida kairika. Ngezira nasobola kuwa mulimo nga wena ne bakuwa mulimo tosobola gukola obakoba nandi muzeeyi mundeka amagumba gali kunuma tisobola akola milimo aye nga omuna guno gukayenda okulya emere. So if you have established sources of income that can bring you money nga gwe totally directly involved, the day that income equals your expenditure, you have now broken through. You are among the rich. You will never suffer again. Why? Simply because even when you don't work, you will always be provided for. Now yet to build that, It takes time. So patience and focus is very important. This one is not my machine, so I don't know how to operate it properly. Patience and focus are very important. Now today, you find into people, they are all over the place. Aliko mukino, aliko mukiri, adduka eno, adduka eri, no skill. No time to okwetegereza ebintu. Ekyo tekiriwo ekiseera. We want to run quickly. Here, nawulidde wali befuna, nawulidde wano befuna. No. If you are going to build a good business, learn a skill. Do you know there is what we call a sequence? Can you say A, B, K, Q, C, F, D? Is that how it goes? 1, 5, 2, 10, 6, 4, 3. Is that how you count? Numbers are in order. There is a sequence. You start with this, then you this, then that. When you jump, some people think in Buwababu sequence. How many people have you had ngababu sequence amadala steps nafuna sente? Why do you have to find employment with someone else? Because it is going to build your character. It is going to build accountability. Kakati ebyo abantu byatagala. Wano mu kanisa no marobuzo omuntu ofuna sente mmeka ga pasa yaga kunoonyerezaako ayagala ki? No accountability. Sente zo zisaasanya oti kakati awo wange agondi owekimu ekyekumi maye musumba namwe mutuyitiriddeko munoonya sente. We are not looking for money. We are trying to make sure that God gives you the blessings he has given you by you following those things, because they are necessary. So when we teach you the Christian things, we no gani na mubiri tithe bangalagira gondi, be generous kakati nze sina sente kakati analoweza gondi, serve God bana twine emirimu tukowa nnyo. If God is the owner of everything and yourself, and you call him your friend, nga gwe tolina kyoyagala mukolera nolowooza mbu mindset yo olwokubanga abali mu nsi, the people who are not Christians, the people you see around, for them they don't serve God, they don't tithe, they are not, maybe they are not as generous, and you say lwaki nze sibeera nga bali ndaba nabo bali bulungi. You are missing the point. You are being like this woman. Jesus is telling her, I have something better. She's busy telling him, you know, our well, our Jaja Gundi, Jacob is the one who dug the well. He even drank. Now, traditions. And that's why many people are still struggling with poverty. Kubanga baganyo kuwulira ebye Bible byeyigiriza, the living water, bobe esibye kubiri ebikadde. Now gwe kikwesibiza ku bikadde. Let me finish. Our time is up. You look around. Bino ebintu biri simple. You go around and research. Ekyo ekintu gwe kyowulira nga it is the favor. Era mukama yamafunye omulimu. It is okay to get a job, but you find out how many people have built houses, bought vehicles, bought land, nga bakola omulimu ogwo. You first come back with the research. Okay, Pastor? Nafunye research. Bano bakola omulimu guno, era bagubalamu emyaka 6, era bino bye bafuna. You bring the research. Ojja kusanga nga buli muntu yenna ne bwaba yasigala ku mulimu muguli, bwaba yafuna breakthrough, yalina some other source of income eyali ewanirira omulimu gwali tegusobola mugaggawaza. That's why we are telling you, save money, invest in a business or something, or start a business. Now when you start a business, how many of you were here the other Sunday when we did the quadrant? Bameka abaliwo nga tukola obubox buli obuna. Tembujuke na bujo. Twagamba nti mu kabox akamu mulimu agent, akalala mulimu akalala mulimu important and urgent. Akalala mulimu not important, not urgent. Aha. Netugamba nti if you want to be successful, ofocusing what? Important. Why important? Kubanga bye character. They are not as urgent, but they are the ones who give you, they are the ones which give you character. Now, kamalize bwenti. Do you know why your boss is successful? Omanyi lwaki wegomba boss wo? Tokimanyi. Boss wo kyekyo kye yakola. They focus on the important. Ebiri urgent babiwaani. You the employees. Mumuduka mugende mulete gundi belele. Meanwhile ye boss ali mu office planninga akola strategies. Ebintu ebirabikanga kala ali muli planninga bu planninze ffe tuli wano tusitula bintu. Yeah, ye mugezi. So when you start a business, you should do that immediately. That's what I was telling that gentleman. I said, this thing here, what is important? Kukomola. What is urgent? Okugata pieces. Is there somebody that's all gata pieces ezo? Wali. Lwaki tozimuwa? Do the important. Hire someone else to do the urgent. You have started a business. Yeah. Kekubere kufu chapati. What are the important things? Do the important. Kuno kukanda, ati kakati ebudde bugenze. Get someone omugei kakati gwe kole ebyo at a cost. Ojja kwekanga ngo ina emidala ya chapati emeka. Nebo gandi bize nnyo kakati mbeera gonna ojja kusigana akadala kamu ate tekajja kukola. Why? Oganye okuva mu ndowooza eri ey'abantu kange kagenda bajja kunziba. Omanyi bw'okulya kati twagambye oli omwana yakulira mu kyalo. The other kid who grew up in the village. Buli muntu eyagaggawalako mu kyalo ewaabwe kubanga bonna baali baavu. Eyagaggalako baamukola ki? Baamenya ennyumba ye ne bakola ki? Ne bababba. Isn't that what you see in the villages? You people, I don't know. I went to a rich country. They put me in a house. At first I didn't care. But at night, before I went to sleep, I looked for the key to lock the house and there was no key. I went and I looked for the manager. I said, excuse me, sir. You forgot to give me a key. And they said, key for what? For my room. They said, you don't need it. I said, hey, I'm going to sleep. Should I? They said, you go and check all the doors here. What is wrong with you? The man was even struggling to understand my mindset. Me, I was coming from Africa. Enzijimuzigana mutekako emitayimba ne mutekako n'amayinja. Kubanga akatono kolina bagenda kabba kati mindset ey'omuntu eyakulidde mu bwavu bw'omuga nti gaggawala ekyasooka okutya bajja kunziba. Saagala bugagga bungi bajja kukola ki? Bajja kunziba, bajja kunzita, bajja kundoga. That's why many people don't. The people could be rich. Ne oli ati agamba bwe nagaggawala bajja kundoga. Bajja kunziba. Isn't that what you think? Some people are saying, no, nayenga you know. Byebyo byolowooza. Meanwhile, oli omwana yakulira eyo gye nagenze. Do they mind anything? No. Their mindset is thinking about totally different things. Nze ndi wano ndowooza nsula ntunula. I am waiting for a thief who is not there. The following day, nsumagira, I am not productive. Lwaki? Mindset yange yensibye. So now, what is keeping you in poverty is not God. Nyamba otumalirize wano. Mungambire oyo. What is keeping you in poverty is not God. It is your culture and the mindset of your culture.